Hey y'all, what's up? This is Chris from Blackstone Cherry, and you're watching the Helix Hour with Eric Broadbent.
Hey, this is Vernon Reed from Living Color, and you're watching the Helix Hour.
Hey guys, my name is Jen Majura. I'm the guitar player for Evanescence, and you're watching the Helix Hour.
Welcome to the Helix Hour, brought to you in part by Stewart Travel Guitars. See the incredible stowaway travel guitar at stewartguitars.com. Microphones for the Helix Hour are provided by Rode Microphones. Now, let's talk some Helix. Hey everyone, happy Sunday to you all. Welcome to the Helix Hour. We are live and back again with a guest that's been it's been some time. One of our favorite recurring guests, guitarist Jen Majura. How are you?
Hello, everybody. Hi. Good to be back. Thank you so much for having me again.
You know, you sound like that girl that was in the top of our video here. I think you have something in common with her.
Yeah, something similar, right? Yeah, she's my twin sister.
There you go. Awesome. We are going to have a fun show today. I want to let Jen know here as well, too, and all of our live viewers. We are under a bit of a storm right now, a heavy storm in our part of Ontario, Canada. A little further north of us, there is tornado warnings. We're not getting that, but there are some storms, and we had some power fluctuations here today. So fingers crossed, we don't lose power. If the stream goes dead, that's what it was. So fingers crossed. I swear our town runs on 6D batteries. It's just crazy.
Whoa.
Yeah. But
let's keep our fingers crossed.
I think the energy that you bring to the show, you'll power the internet wheels, and we'll
power the internet.
That's right. And I'm not sure if people understood this. I'm bad when it comes to jokes. Sometimes I make jokes and they don't fly. So in the thumbnail of the video, I said, "Who needs coffee? We've got Jen Majura." And what I mean by that is I always tell my guests, especially on the Helix where we talk about you a lot, and I always talk about the energy. You just I myself am wound up like a top. I talk a million miles a minute. But I find you have energy as well too, very positive energy, and we really like that.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm so glad to be back. And let me tell you, this is totally not Helix, but I have to tell you what just happened. For a week, I've been chicken sitting the chickens and the two roosters of my neighbors because they are on their honeymoon. And there was a hen breeding on eggs. For 1 week, I've been seeing that hen without any legs. I didn't know if she had any legs because she was sitting there nonstop. And just now, the little tiny one egg hatched. There's a little tiny fluffy baby chicken now. And I'm so happy. I went to the coop and I heard it and it was like, beep, beep, beep. And I'm like, oh my God, maybe I should sample it.
Yeah.
And then run it through the Helix.
Hey, that'd be cool.
Use one of these oscillator sounds. Let's see how the baby chicken sounds with the oscillator.
That'd be cool. Well, it's funny because you told me, and so you just told me before we went live here, but when we were talking earlier around 2:00 Eastern here today, doing our test call, you said you had to run out and take, the hens out to the coop there, whatever. So perfect timing. I mean, it couldn't be better. I mean, I guess you just missed it too. I mean, imagine if you actually saw it hatch, it would have been great.
Oh my God, that would have been but I mean, I'm totally happy to see it live running around in the coop there. It was so cute and adorable. First of all, it was this tiny fluffy ball and made me really happy. Filled my heart with happiness and joy today. And of course you. Talking to you is always a great pleasure.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, that's the thing too. I mean, count all the little blessings, right now, right? And we'll talk about this later on in the program. We'll talk about, people struggling, maybe some depression and, going through what we're going through right now. So every little bit like that is nice. Just kind of takes your mind off of the negative and focus on the positive. But speaking of positive, we've got a bunch of really awesome people jumping in. I'll try to say hi to as many of them as I can. And Absolutely. We'll have, throughout the program, my beautiful better half, Sandra Lee, will be sharing a lot of your social media links in the chat. And she'll be funneling questions to me that I will probably miss, so I don't miss them. So over in the chat, we've got Valeria Soto. Hi, everyone.
From Chile. Hi, Chile.
Nice. Hemi, can't pronounce the last name. Eternal Remorse. Looking forward to the interview. I've got a glass of wine, so I'm ready. Awesome. Landshark Mark is here, good friend.
Sweet. Very nice.
Richard Henry. Luna Fanatic. Milem Chan is here. Scott Roos, one of our Canadian friends here. Rita N. Let me see here. Murato Yamaguchi. I finally made it to a live video. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Nice. Elisa Lachat says hello to everyone. Joe Hervey is here. Thomas Maynard. Carlos Santon, our good friend in Canada. The party line, that's my beautiful Sandra Lee. Metalhead Hippie is here. Poo Ninja is here.
Metalhead Hippie, I would like to give a shout out to you because you featured me in one of your episodes, and I want to thank you for that. I've always been looking for your name on other live streams, but I never saw you again. So I want to say thank you. Thank you.
Nice. He's one of our regulars and good friends here as well too. Very good guy.
Sweet.
Let me see. Almad is here. Brad Miller is here. I know we got a question from Brad later on from Twitter. We had some good Twitter questions come in as well too. So thank you for your fan base on that. AHV is here. Guitarman 45. Let me see here, man. We got a lot. I'll probably flag or highlight where we left off here so I can. Unknown Wanderer is here. AZ from
Hi,
Arizona.
Kenneth.
Nice. Matt Krill is here. All right. I think Elise Lachat. I think I mentioned that. Let me see here. All right. We're getting pretty good.
I recognize 90% of the names.
I bet, right? Awesome. Okay. So I am going to highlight right there. Let's talk about, let's go back a little bit for a second and talk about NAMM, which I've been talking about NAMM to a few people over the past few shows on Helix Hour and over on Rock Shop Live as well too. And just this last winter NAMM, it feels like it was 2 years ago. I mean,
know, right?
Wasn't it crazy?
Insane.
But
it feels so far away, and it's just been a couple of months.
I know.
Crazy.
It's aged us. I mean, whether we like it or not, this thing has aged us. I feel like it's just forever ago. But it was nice, anyways. To take away the negative, I know you and I didn't get a chance to really hang out at NAMM, but it was nice bumping into you for a moment. Junior and I are walking out. We were over at the Marriott, I think, and I think we were going.
And that was literally what it was. It was a moment of, "Hi, hey, good to see you. Bye bye. I gotta go."
No, right?
That was it.
Yeah.
Oh man, I wish we had time for like a coffee or something and talk.
I know. I think we're leaving
that's NAMM show. I mean, NAMM show is literally running from A to Z, and just like while you run, you bump into people. Right. That's literally what it is for me.
I know, right? Yeah. And this is a question I had on the itinerary for later, but maybe because we're talking about it now. Has this whole pandemic thing, has it kind of changed your perspective of how you might approach big conventions and things of that nature down the road? Like, I know obviously it's going to get better, and the sooner the better, the greater. But, because we're in these big convention centers and sometimes overpopulated, does it worry you a little bit? Because you're a very intimate person with fans, shaking hands, hugs, that kind of stuff.
I do not want to let it worry me because, like you said, I want to have that contact, that talking to people, that hugging, and it's so important because I'm a hugger, and it's so tough for me, even with my friends. If I see them and I meet them, you got to do that elbow thing.
Yeah.
I mean, cool, yeah, but it's really tough, and it's very hard for me to make any future visions or predict anything, because what really is the poison in these days is that everything is unpredictable.
Right.
That is literally what kills everything, because you cannot plan. For example, I wanted to go see our friend Matthias Iya Eklund at the Free Guitar Camp, which is happening like now. But then on the other hand, I could book a flight. But who will guarantee me that in 3 days I can take that flight and they won't shut down the airport?
Right.
Everything is super unpredictable. So I can't really say how things will change in the future for bigger events and crowds. And I just hope that there will be a spot in time where we all will be able to hug each other again.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah, it has really changed everything. Has it changed you yourself? Like, I mean, and we're going to talk deeply about this later on, but as far as like, keeping everyone's mental health in check, I mean, I'll be honest with you, there's been some days where, I'll wake up and I don't know why I'm just kind of down in the dumps, but I think it just catches up with you, and then you kind of dust yourself off. Some people can do it better than others. But has it changed your outlook on things?
Okay. Let's talk some really deep, honest Jen shit.
Sure.
It changed me a lot. What happened was, back in the days, we've been touring so much in 2017 and 2018. And I was always like exhausted from the jet lags and the running from gate to gate, eating really horrible, overpriced airport food, and, and not getting enough sleep and stuff like that. And I always kept saying like, oh man, I wish I had more time. I would practice more guitar. But to be really honest now, what happened with me was that I realized that I lost all sorts of inputs for my personality, for my life. if you work in a grocery store and out of a sudden, due to this pandemic situation, you work a little less, you just sit at home a little bit more often and you wait for things to get back to normal. But in my case, I haven't been home for longer than 2 weeks for the past 15 years. And I know a lot of my colleagues struggle with the same things. It's literally somebody takes like the carpet under your feet and just like rips it away. And you're standing there out of a sudden without any purpose. And you try to stay positive. But what really happens is that when you miss all these different inputs, whether if it's traveling, location, meeting people, playing shows, energy exchange, if you miss all that and out of a sudden your entire, I don't know, life purpose is a couch. It's just really hard for me to grasp the fact that I literally lost power for playing my instrument, because that is what happened. I lost inspiration. I didn't want to touch my guitar. I didn't feel the urge, the need to play the guitar. And then I kind of sat there and I was wondering, well, what's going on, because I never had that feeling. And then I taught myself to find purpose in this hollow situation of uncertain times, and I just created things in my days to give me, like you said, a purpose to in the morning to get up. It's literally, it doesn't matter if you stay in bed for until 9 or until 10 or until 12. Mm-hmm. Nobody cares. And the whole purpose of playing guitar is you do that because you know you'll be back on a stage, and you know, I know I'm going to be back on a stage, but for this time that we're stuck in right now, and which I believe will be stuck in for a much longer time, it's just really tough to find a purpose for doing that, because for my personal taste, inspiration comes from all that input. When you write songs, what do you write about? I write about life. If my life is the couch, what am I going to write about?
Yeah, there's not too many good couch songs,
so
is there?
Simple, and it's just really tough, and you have to force yourself to create that purpose of doing something. Otherwise, you'll just be lost. And I'm really honest here. I had really, really tough, really bad times where I hardly moved. I was literally on the couch hanging out, and I'm like, why am I even existing? It's really tough. But then one thing that I learned, and I saw my friend Ron, he was on the show too.
A couple weeks ago, yeah.
And we, Bumblefoot,
yep.
And we talked about it. And what we agree on is that whenever you have tough times, tough days, everybody has tough days. It's just that some of us suffer harder from depressive days.
Yes, of course.
Is that you have to force yourself to do the opposite of what that little demon inside of your head tells you to do. The demon says, just stay in bed. Nobody cares. And then you force yourself to get up and do something and become productive, because at the end of the day, if you create anything, it doesn't matter what it is. If it's music, if it's a picture and you're drawing, if it's baking cookies.
Oh, nice.
Whatever it is, just create something that wasn't existing before you created it, and that will give your day purpose. And it's so important to do that, especially now.
Agreed. Yeah, make yourself productive. Making a nice meal. In your case, made some cookies and things of that nature. Just So
I became a 5-star chef. If you could see what I was cooking. I keep inviting my friends over because I have too much food. And
yeah. Well, I think you're a good example of this, because we talked about you being a really positive energy. Ron's another good example of that as well too. Just the energy he gives off, but it can happen to the best of you. You know what I mean? You can be the most energetic and go, and it can hit you. So knowing how to recognize the signs and deal with it, and never be afraid to reach out to friends and talk to them if you're struggling as well too.
Exactly. And what I learned, I had my burnout moment in 2013 where it was really bad. And I kind of changed my life back then I eliminated negative people, energy vampires. I really was like, okay, this glass is half full, not half empty. Always see the positive. And that's literally what I preach all the time. And it's so important to just see positivity, because I believe the humankind is, for whatever reason, made to be complaining, hardly here in Germany, especially when I ask somebody, hey, how are you doing? Well, nobody ever says, thank you, I'm doing good. How are you?
Yeah.
Especially here in Germany. And I always believe like there is a beauty in every situation. There is a solution in every situation. And you just have to see it and find it and focus on it. And even if you have bad days and I feel it like boiling up in me, I'm like, oh God, this is something negative is coming up. I maybe allow myself a certain amount of time of feeling that pain and that negative emotions. Then I just shut myself and I don't talk to anybody and just like I'm in that situation. But then I know exactly it's going to be over again, because if you are focusing on the positive, you can also focus on the negative and just stay in that little shell of negativity for a little bit of time just to feel the emotions, because emotions are never bad. And then go through these emotions, and then you get out of that shell even stronger than before. And that's how I deal with it.
Very, very well said. And I'm going to say something about guitar in a second, how the guitar can help us as well, too. Just a few things have come through as well, too. Super chat from Thomas Maynard. Thank you, Thomas. I appreciate that greatly. Also from Frank Rashad at line 6, one of our good friends, family friends here as well. A super chat from Frank. Thank you, Frank. Appreciate that. And there was a comment from Wolverine says, amazing guests you've got on your acclaimed show, Eric. This is amazing. Thank you. I appreciate the kind words. Nice to have the talent like Jen and all these awesome people on the show. It's a real pleasure for sure. And Luna wants a cookie recipe.
Okay. No problem, Luna. I'll get it to you.
All right.
I'll send you a DM on Instagram later.
Perfect. There you go. Awesome. I have to check that out. And a super chat from Wolverine as well, too. Thank you. This is really awesome, guys. It obviously helps in a time like this. We appreciate that. It's funny, too. Like we talk about, we put the guitar down and, it's not the guitarist's fault that we're going through this. And there are some people out there, that maybe they're just the only person at home. They live in an apartment by themselves. They've got no one else other than their guitar. There's people that live in a big home, wife and kids and blah, 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 husband and kids, and still got a guitar, and everything. It's different for everybody. But the guitar never lets you down. And that's one of the things I think we have to recognize. I can say on days where I'm in a really good mood, I'll approach a guitar one way, and I'm in a bad mood, I'll approach a guitar a different way. But I think my mind, even when I'm in a down in the dumps mood, picking up the guitar, you feel good at least while you're playing. You know what I mean? So it always, and when I'm using guitar as, it could be your bass or your keyboard or your drum kit, whatever the case may be.
Your instrument, your passionate, creative instrument, yeah.
Yeah, it really, it's there for you. Never put that, that thing away.
That's what I used to say about relationships, A guitar never says something evil or bad or hurtful to me. It's just, she's always there and she's always helping. Mm-hmm. And I mean, get it.
They might give you an attitude and break a string, like for no reason, just a string pops off. It's like maybe they're trying to tell you something, but there's less attitude than a person for sure.
Yes, absolutely agree.
Yeah, let's talk about this new segment. Well, I should say not super new, but it's new enough. The 1 minute jams. And I've got a question coming up. This came in through Twitter from Brad Miller, one of our regulars here as well, too, and our Patreon supporters. I'll ask you his question about it. But let's talk about this awesome segment that I think that you told me is kind of just started off as a joke almost, and it's gone crazy.
It did. Okay, so what happened is I have a very good friend, Kyle Hughes. He plays the drums for Marco Mendoza and also Bumblefoot's solo band. And we've been on the phone. You have a lot of time for phone calls these days.
Mm-hmm,
so
of course.
I was talking to him, and we both were kind of like, oh man, it's so tough not playing shows, not traveling. It's so odd. And I'm like, hey, let's do something positive together. Let's jam a song. And he was like, yeah, let's do this. What kind of song do you have in mind? And I said, I don't know, Jackson 5. It was completely meant as a joke. And then he was like, oh, let's invite another guitar player when you sing. And that's how the first 1 minute jam came to life. And after I put it out, I realized, wow, this is actually something really beautiful because the song spreads positivity. And I encourage all the guests to bring their own flavor to the song, not copy the style of the song, but just be themselves and just do that 1 minute enjoying a song. And it shall not be what I always keep telling, because the other day Can I actually? Yes, I can. Okay, so I talked to Courtney Cox, and she's gonna be on one of my 1 minute jams. And she
Nice.
sent me a text, and she was like, "Hey, are there any do's or don'ts?" And I'm like, "Nope." Hey, could you give me a little bit, just a little hint of like a little bit of direction, what you want me to play? And I was like, "Nope."
Nope. It's up to you.
And she was completely lost. She was like, "Are there any rules?" I said, "Listen, girl, the rule is there are no rules." And you know what we musicians, obviously not touring, most of the time do these days is, you know, studio jobs like recording, guest stuff, and live streams. And so we sit at home equipped with all our cameras and recording systems anyway. And the 1 minute jams shall not be meant to be another burden for your schedule.
Right.
I always keep communicating to the whoever I ask. It's more like, hey, between two recordings, just do this. It'll take you 2 minutes to record. It shall be spontaneous. It shall be you. It shall be not super, super freaky and super virtuoso showing off. It's just about enjoying music. And what I've learned by now is that kind of, I mean, the list of guests is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. If I take a look now, who already joined those ones? I mean, Mike Portnoy, Richie Kotzen, Billy Sheehan, complete winery dogs. Duh, all in separate videos. Mike Mangini, it's just Gus G, you know, I have, and Ron, of course, and Mike Tirana. All these people are amazing musicians who I completely look up to. I'm like, oh my God, this is such a talented musician. And what I've learned is that all of the people who join the 1 minute jams are these positive vibed, positive spirit people, you know, and that translate, like people watch the 1 minute jams and they can see how we enjoy playing the song and covers and just having fun with the music. And it became a thing, like every Saturday, 7 p.m. Central European time. The live chat starts at 6:30, and I'm always in the live chat, and we talk about food and animals and everything positive in life, you know. And the funny thing is, to me, I try to keep these 1 minute jams as short as possible, but sometimes it's a little tough. Like the last one, it was a little bit longer than 1.5 minutes, but you know, the countdown for a YouTube premiere with that elevator music.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's 2 minutes. I'm all good as long as my 1 minute jam video is shorter than the countdown.
Yeah. Well, they're very popular. You know, somebody I would love to see you do a jam with. I mean, obviously those people that you mentioned, Billy Sheehan, one of them, he's been on the show probably 4 times on our various shows. And
he's such a sweet friend of mine. I love Billy.
He is one of the most, other than yourself, one of the most positive people that I've ever been around. Like he just gives off this energy, and he's always been, he said, I'll keep coming back on your show until your fans are bored of me. And I said, well, Billy, it's going to be a long time before that happens.
Never.
Yeah.
That'll never happen.
Well, Brad has a question.
Wait, you wanted to tell me who you would like to see in the 1 minute jam?
Yeah. Okay. Well, there's a little bit of the Canadian in me, but Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson.
How about I'll have a Canadian soon, together with Courtney Cox in the video.
Oh, okay. I'm looking forward to that.
But not one of those two.
Okay.
Sorry.
No,
another Canadian.
That's okay. That's okay. And Courtney, she's been on the show as well too. Very, very, a very nice person. Great player.
Yeah,
so I think she'll
awesome.
do well with you. So Brad's question was talking about the 1 minute sessions. He says it's more of a comment and a question. Says he loves 1 minute sessions, but 1 minute is not enough. How about a full version of the song? And how long does it take to record and edit for 1 minute? Sometimes people think, you know, okay, it's 1 minute, so it takes you a minute to shoot it, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot more work that goes into that, but maybe tell us a little bit of the process.
Okay, to be honest, I mean, I got a lot of these questions recently. Who does the mixing? Who does the video editing and everything? This one does it.
Nice.
It's all me.
Nice.
What I request from my guests is one stereo audio file of what they play.
Mm-hmm.
And I request one video file, and that's it. When I receive the files, I'll upload them in I work with Cubase, of course. Mm-hmm. So I put it in Cubase. I have my presets and everything. That is literally done within, I don't know, 5 minutes. because I prepare all the vocals and the rest of the song. So it just needs to be like put in the drums or put in the bass or put the guitar in. And that's a 5-minute thing. It's really, I like that. And then take that audio, the final audio, and edit it to the video editing. And that can take sometimes, but I would say it takes me like 2 hours to get the final 1-minute video, and then I'll upload it and show it to the guest musicians, because there's always a slight chance that you want to have something changed. Mike Mangini, for example, he was like, "Oh, Jen, can I send you a new drum mix?" And I said, "Sure. That's why I'm sending you the draft, like look at it and decide if you like it." And he sent me another drum mix, and that's totally fine. And the videos, they go, the premiere is set on Thursday evening. This week might maybe be a little bit delayed, so I maybe have to set the premiere on Friday because we are delayed. And I can say that I advertise next 1 Minute Jam for next Saturday. It's going to be Brian Beller on bass and Kenny Aronoff on drums.
Oh, wow. Killer.
I'm super excited for that one. And, schedules. And so it might happen that I won't be able to set the premiere on Thursday, but I'll do it on Friday.
Oh, I think the fans will forgive you. That's all good.
Right.
You were talking earlier about Metalhead Hippie. He sent in a super chat, and he says, let me see here. Count to 10, Jen. It was a pleasure. I'm not sure. It says, it was a pleasure sharing your take on this song. You are awesome. Peace and thanks for the shout out. They loved you on my channel.
Oh, thank you so much, Metal Hippie. Thank you so much.
Yeah, awesome for sure. So that's something that you're going to continue to do for quite some time, that you can foresee this the 1 minute jams?
Well, as long as I can.
Right.
I mean, even if the pandemic situation would change and we all go back out to concerts, and I would love to do it. I see it a little bit difficult to do it while being on tour, because I don't really see myself recording vocals in a hotel room for the video. It's just, but as long as I can, definitely, I want to continue. And I have awesome musicians in the list. Like there's going to be a YouTuber edition.
Nice.
And I want to do an Asian edition. And there's so many people in the pipeline. So yeah.
That's going to be awesome. And the cool thing is too, like if you think of it, like I'm sure if you follow your YouTube analytics, and I look at my analytics, and like for someone, I
suck at that.
Well, it's okay. It's good to look into it. Get used to it, because you'll find out where things are going really, really well. And obviously, analytics on your 1 minute jams would be probably phenomenal. And then you'll find out where some areas where you can improve. As anyone who puts out content has things they can improve. And what's tough for people like me that runs a show that, like, Helix Hour is 90 minutes. It's no longer an hour. It's 90 minutes.
Yeah.
And our Rock Shop shows are 60 minutes. And you sometimes look at the analytics, and you have people saying how much they love the shows and blah, blah, blah. And then you look at sometimes the average view duration, it might be 15 minutes. I'm like, okay, well, that doesn't make sense. If it's a 60-minute show, so you've got a hot spot with these 1 minute things. And I look at it like Instagram. When Instagram was first coming out, you could only put like 15-second video clips and stuff like that. Yeah. You get people, their attention spans, boom, done, and they want more, as opposed to giving them a 4-hour thing. Right? Yep,
exactly my saying. I think that, I'm no different. Like when I watch a video, it's tough to keep watching. It's like the attention span literally is 2 minutes max. Hardly people listen to an entire song. Like if I would post an entire song, we don't have time.
I know. People are watching videos.
So I think 1 minute and a half is absolutely the right amount. And to go back to what was his name, Brad's question.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people want the full jam, the full song, the full cover. But the thing is, if I change the amount of guests within one jam or change the duration of the video, it won't be this 1 minute concept. I know this is meant more like a compliment. Hey, this is so good. I want to hear more of it. Thank you, which is so beautifully nice, and I'm really happy that all of you like it. But the 1 minute jams are called 1 minute jams for a reason. Duh.
Yeah. No, I like that, and you always want more. And it's funny too. Like I've had people give me some comments here sometimes on the show. Like I'll have guests on the show and we'll get right into a great conversation. Like on Friday night, I had Mike Skill from the Romantics. I'm not sure if you ever grew up with the Romantics music. Did you?
Looking back over my shoulder.
Talking in Your Sleep. What I Like About You. The great Motor City music, right? And that show's only 60 minutes. And, we were, I mean, he had so much more to say, and people are like, they didn't really say this, but I get this kind of comment sometimes. People are like, well, why don't you just keep going? Why don't you just keep going? And my attitude of this whole thing, and just like with your 1 minute things, is always have people wanting more, because if we went 4 hours into a discussion, people are going to be falling asleep,
Exactly.
except for the diehards, the guest could be falling asleep. I could be falling asleep. You want more. I always want more.
I did a super hardcore thing, which I wasn't even aware of that I'm going to do it. It was a live writing session with my friend Henning. His YouTube channel is HP42.
Yeah, know him very well.
Yeah, and he decided to, hey, Jen, let's do a writing session. And I'm like, okay, whatever. It turned out to be an almost 7-hour live stream.
Oh, yeah, you wrote the song in complete.
I mean, that is insanity right there. And I had to recover for 3 days from that. It was so exhausting and demanding. And then midnight, everything was recorded. We really started from scratch, like writing a song. I did the lyrics and everything, and then I had to sing. It was almost midnight, and I was so tired. And I'm like, Henning, you owe me big time after this one.
For sure.
But there were people popping in and out all the time, like for all the 7 hours.
Wow.
That's craziness. Like they would probably put it on YouTube and just spend the evening with Henning and me writing a song.
Yeah.
It's completely fascinating. That was one of the hardest and most exhausting things I've done in a long time.
But I guess if you look at every silver lining too, it was probably a good workout session for you, because you can't just say, I want to quit, because you're kind of in the spotlight. I remember meeting him for the very first time, because obviously he's overseas and we're here in Canada. We met at the 2017 NAMM. We didn't know each other's names. I followed his channel and he's seen some of my stuff. And we were just basically in passing. I mean, when you see him, he's a visible person, no matter where he goes.
He is.
Bright color, very animated. And I was just like, we're going down an escalator like this, right? I'm like, hey, you're the, and he's like, hey, you're the, and we didn't know who each other's names, but it was very, very cool. And I think we met up a little bit later on and kind of exchanged some business cards and stuff like that. So very, very cool guy.
Henning is an absolute sweetheart and dear friend of mine. And whenever I have the time or have the option, I go visit him. And, I'll come back to his channel for sure. But I need some rest after that 7-hour live thing.
That's intense. Yeah, that is absolutely intense. I've even thought of doing some streams before, having different guests pop on and do like a 12-hour type of thing. And I thought, you know what? No, just not gonna do it.
No, it's just not gonna happen.
No, because they got to make a bathroom break, or like who knows? Especially here in Canada, as I'm talking about hydro, I'm getting messages from my better half. Some of our people in surrounding towns, their power's out. So let's hope we get through this thing.
We will.
Yeah, we will. We will for sure. So let's talk, since we're on the topic of video, this was really cool. So you obviously everyone's grounded now. We're not touring. No one's touring out there. The Evanescence is not touring. But you've got 2 cool singles out on YouTube right now. One premiered just what is it? What was
the first one was called "Wasted on You."
Yeah. Okay. And they were all shot like independent from basically iPhones and stuff from home. Is that correct?
Yes, we all used our iPhones. And to be really honest, for the first video, we wanted to create that kind of quarantine scenery, like to show that everyone, no matter if you're famous or not, if you're rich or poor, if you're thick or thin, it doesn't matter. Everybody goes through the same stuff. That was kind of like the message, what we wanted to show people with that video. And when I first read the video treat, I was like, wait a minute, I shall shoot the video on my iPhone in my home? It was kind of like, what? And it turned out to be really creative. I know that Paul Brown, our video director, he was kind of terrified at first because, a video director likes to have control, He likes to give, hey, you go there and you do that. But then he was completely out of control for the whole situation and had to rely on the stuff that we sent him. And it for me personally, I try to catch all the quarantine situations, the kind of like hanging out at home, the waiting, the looking through the window, the waiting. That was kind of like my intention. And then I received a message from him going like, hey, listen, Jen, Amy has this walking scene. Look at this picture. Can you do something similar like that? Or here's Tim leaning against a wall. Do you have a similar location like that? And it turned out to be really fun and challenging in a very, very new way. Most of the times when it comes to Evanescence videos, you just try not to drown, because for my first Evanescence video, she threw us all in a fish tank. And I was like, this is not happening.
Yeah.
Flying to LA to drown in a fish tank.
No, not your idea.
It was fun. It was amazing, because you never get to do things like that. So I always enjoy it. But this time it was a different approach, and I think that the video turned out so personal, like showing so much from our private human lives, that it connected us to the fans and the fans to us in a very new, beautiful way, in a human way. And for the second video, well, I read through the video treat and I thought, okay, I'm going to be the nutcase in the video. I'm the nutcase.
Yeah, with the lipstick, I saw the lipstick and the makeup and everything was crazy.
Yeah. I know the first video turned me into the girl that cried the tear, and the second video turned me into the Joker.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm fine with that. It's fine. But Paul sent us all that video treat again, and he wanted us separately from each band member to explain to him what has been challenging in that pandemic time, in that quarantine lockdown time. So we're all individuals. We don't live in the same place. So everybody has experienced their own struggles, their own fears and dark moments, and we all explained it to him. And then he sent us the video directions, each one. So when I recorded my video footage for The Game Is Over, I had no clue what was going on. And I had no clue what the others were filming. Maybe, like somebody's just like, hey, I'm totally chill, hanging out in my tub, I don't know. I had no clue what the others were filming.
Right.
All I knew was that I will be the nutcase. And then he sent me all these video direction stuff, and it was challenging because you had that list and you go like, okay, today I'm doing the car scene. All right. Okay, done that. Okay, now I'm going to do the, it's been fun. And a very, very different approach and way of working on a video. And when I finally saw the result, I was like, wait a minute. I'm not the only nutcase in the video. It's kind of like everybody has the same struggles.
Yeah.
Like you can tell like everybody has that fear about that uncertain moments, and everybody has these question marks and these dark moments and these I'm waiting, I don't know, I feel hollow moments. And that again ensured me, like when I watched the first draft of the video, I felt so close to Amy and the boys when I watched it, which was undescribable. It was so beautiful because I was like, hey, I am not alone in this, because they feel the same feelings. They have the same things going on, even though we're apart from each other, divided by like oceans, but it's still the same. And I truly believe that a lot of humans these days in this pandemic situation go through the same stuff. And it doesn't matter where on the planet you are. It doesn't matter if you live in Australia or you live in Brazil or you live in Sweden. It doesn't matter. It's like, because we're all human. And the one thing, like I said earlier today, the one thing we definitely do not respond to well is uncertainty.
Mm-hmm. I agree on that for sure. Watching the video too, I cannot honestly say I've ever watched a video where I was emotionally moved by it, because you're seeing seeing the home with the kids and stuff like that,
yeah.
and the real world, the real life. It's not just all this glamorous rock star life that everyone thinks is like the glamour out there. And you feel it right away. And I think first of all, it's groundbreaking for sure. And you know, like just like your 1 minute videos and all these videos where people are collaborating around the world, that's one thing that people are still putting out videos. And even like your friends there and our friends and Sons of Apollo, the guys have been doing some really fun a cappella stuff and assembling some things.
So beautiful.
Right.
I told Ron the other day, man, this is amazing stuff they're doing.
Yeah. But on the flip side of that, that's all cool. And that's great stuff. And we're getting to connect to our bands that we love. But this video is like a production, basically like a Hollywood production, all done from home. And it's really changed the game. And I think if we look 10, 15, 20, 10 years into the future, you know, we'll be looking back at this, and obviously this time period will be in the history books for sure for our grandkids and all that kind of stuff. But looking back at
Paul, if you're watching this goes out to you.
Yeah.
Because you did a great job with the video.
I agree. I agree 100%. And I think people are going to look back at his work and think like, okay, we're dealt a certain hand of cards, right? And how do we okay, we're going to fold, what are you going to do here, right? But we're going to look back at this filmmaking, and it's pretty damn awesome to come up with this stuff, you know, all from home. And obviously, he's not there to say, like you said, Jen, do this.
He didn't even know how our homes looked like.
Yeah.
You know, he was flying blind, and he was like, okay, let's give it a try. You guys sent me everything, and I'll just look through the stuff. And he did such an amazing job as a video director. I think that's amazing. Just amazing.
One little side note, you probably never expect me to say this, but everybody's homes looked immaculately clean.
Well,
they look great.
Not mine, to be honest. I mean, I have some scenes where when I watch the video now, Wasted on You, and I'm like, I should have cleaned up that corner, you can see that.
Yeah.
And now probably everybody goes back to watching the Wasted on You video, trying to find what I mean.
Yeah, trying to find a little spot. That's like my Sandra here. It should be like, Eric, you didn't have that in the back.
It was like, the shoes.
I know, right? And you can't change it. You can't like go in there. Hey, can you blur that out? That's Sandra here for me. She does the same thing. You didn't shoot that video with that in the background, did you? And I'm like, damn it. You know, that kind of thing. We've got
but it was a big deal because I think Tim and Danny said that as well, and we're like all very private people, you know, and out of a sudden you're supposed to show your living room and show your hallway and I'm like, plus, I mean, most of the people watching this probably know that I live on a castle. And the whole thing is I can't run around and film the castle because I have to ask my landlord, the Earl, if that is even possible. So it was kind of tricky, but filming inside is no problem. But it was kind of like, you know, people will know how my bathroom looks like.
Yeah.
And as soon as I got comfortable with that, it was like total fun to do it. There were no limits, you know, like normally you have a limitation when somebody tells you, direct you to do this or that, and out of a sudden somebody goes like, film yourself. And it was just, that was another way of working creative. And honestly, I tell you honestly, with those 1 minute jams, that's my new creative outlet in the times where I was struggling with having the power and the urge to play guitar, which was just not existing at all for a long time, and which was really killing me. But then I found like, hey, video editing that's creative too.
Mm-hmm.
And I totally found that new beautiful joy. I mean, I've always loved to edit videos, but that weekly thing and the routine, I think whatever people do nowadays, you need that routine of repetition, you know, like giving people a schedule, a purpose. That is so important, because whenever you pop up every now and then, it won't work the way it does with my 1 minute jams. Like,
right.
Yeah. And it's just, where did I start? How did I? But you know what I mean.
I do. And I like editing video as well too. It's funny, like what I do it for a living. I do video photography and website production, website building, right?
Website production.
Yeah, well, website design and building for, you know, that kind of thing.
Oh, we should talk. Eric, we should talk.
No problem. Yeah, I know, because your official website's just kind of a simple one.
It's horrible.
Yeah, we'll talk.
Horrible.
We'll talk for sure. But it's funny. I like doing video production better because, you know, I'm kind of on call 24/7. You know, the customer's website breaks 11 o'clock at night, whatever. You know, sometimes, most times I'll jump right out and fix it. Videos don't break. Once you get your video good, you put it up there, it doesn't break. Websites break.
Exactly,
so that's what I like.
And you put a lot of work and time and effort into it, and at the end, it's like this beautiful thing, and you can rewatch and enjoy it over and over and over again. It's like really nice. Not that I'm watching my 1 minute gems. Oh, hey, big recommendation. I don't know if you have done that, but the other day, for whatever reasons, I decided to watch all of my 1 minute gems cover by cover by cover by cover. It's hilarious. You should totally try it. Afterwards, you'll jump around in your living room like a crazy person. It's just so good.
Well, if I had to watch all my shows back, like they're 90 minutes, I'd be here from now until 2023.
Yeah, you'll be watching a long time.
Yeah, not going to do it. Not going to do it. Andrew Bonica's got a super chat as well too. Andrew used to work at Line 6. He was, you and I were talking Variax off the air a little bit, and Andrew was the former product head for Variax, which is very cool.
Oh, nice,
so
nice.
Thank you, Andrew. Yeah.
Talking of the Helix, I quickly want to say something because I went to the Thomann Gearhead University event, and Line 6 were nice enough to give me this little motherfucker.
Oh, you got the Stomp.
I freaking love this device. Sure, you're limited a little bit more than to the big device, but for example, when it comes to traveling, I played the Copenhagen Guitar Show, and I couldn't bring that big board in my suitcase. Yep. It was just not possible. So I had to communicate, like, can I have a Line 6 device local? And then you need the time to upload the stuff and everything and the sounds. And I mean, it's super fast, but still you need a quiet space where you can connect your computer and upload all the stuff. And sometimes in situations like trade shows and exhibitions, it's just not possible. You don't have a quiet place, and there are always people talking to you. Hey, can we take a picture? Yes, but I have to connect my picture. And like this year NAMM show, I traveled with this little device, and I put it into my suitcase, and I prepared everything at home. I love it. I love this little Helix Stomp. It's so good. And also I took it on my past tours that I did with Evanescence, because I love that it also is a beautiful interface, and you can just like connect it to your computer and record in no matter where you are. If you're sitting in the backstage, and it's just literally lifesaver.
It is. I'm so glad that you mentioned it, because I swear to God, that's one of the questions I had on the itinerary today, was to talk about that, whether, because I think the last time you were here, I got to look it up. I think it's 2 years. I forget how long it is.
It can't be that long. I told you. It must have been last.
It may be, but there is. I don't think Stomp was out yet, and of course now we've got Pod Go, and I don't think they were available. HX Effects had been out, I think, when the last time we talked, but we've now been given HX Stomp and Pod Go to the public, which is great. And that's what I was going to ask you if you enjoyed it. And you probably know this, but with the next firmware update, that will be upgraded to 9 blocks. Eh? Did you know that?
Yeah. And also, I mean, I had the HX Effects before this one, and I loved it. But comparing to, I don't know why, I feel like this is more. I don't know. It feels easier to handle, not because of the weight or the size, but I feel more comfortable working on this screen than on the HX Effects.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It was like something with the handling. It was different. And this little thing, man, I told you, I take it everywhere with me.
Yeah.
If you meet me on the street, I'll have this in my purse. Other females have a lipstick. I have my HX Stomp in my purse.
Hey, you know what? An extra 5 pounds in the purse. If you ever had some kind of attacker coming at you, we could do some serious damage with that too.
Duh.
Yeah. Well, I agree with you too. The HX Effects, obviously they use all the same engine, but the interface is slightly different when you're working in HX
It's
Edit.
Different.
Yeah, HX Edit no problem, but the on-screen interface on HX Effects is a little different. But I love it to death. I've got actually something you'd like probably.
You have so many more options. I mean, the HX Stomp, it's like, what if worst case situation? I mean, thank God it never happened to me, and it never will. But what if, for example, you're touring South America and out of a sudden there is the amp breaks down. That little thing can save your life. It's a lifesaver. The HX Stomp is a lifesaver, seriously. And it's if I think back on how much material I had to carry with me in an extra bag back in the days touring, when I wanted to be able to record on days off in my hotel room, and compared to this now, it's so easy. And I literally don't go anywhere without my HX Stomp. I love that little device. that is really one perfect job.
I agree. And as you mentioned too about the USB interface, I literally sometimes mine is way back there on top of the power cap. You can barely see it. But sometimes I'd have it up here on the desk, and I would just run it as an interface into HX Native. And people are like, "What are you using for an interface?" If you want to look at it as an interface, well, it's expensive to use just as an interface, but it's just one of the bonuses that you get as using it as one. But I love it. I've got a couple.
Hey, you get an interface and a lifesaver.
There you go. But have you tried Pod Go yet?
No, I haven't tried it yet.
You got to try that. Now, here's what I want to say to you about that. No, it's not going to fit in your purse. Almost, maybe a bigger one, but it will fit. Yeah, easily. So when you talk about your suitcase, it's like, look at my hands here. It's about this wide. So it's about 2/3 the width of a Helix, and I'll confirm that later. But about this wide, and it has the expression pedal. So if you were to use an expression pedal with your stomp, now you're carrying 5 pounds, couple pounds. You've got this all in one. You should check it out down the road. It's
that's the only thing that's missing, like the expression pedal. But then on the other hand, you can just hang on. You can just take an expression pedal with you, which is still less weight than carrying the whole full Helix device. So
yeah,
you're right. I mean, so it's literally the Helix stomp plus expression pedal, right?
That's right, exactly. Now here again too, there's certain. I never like to use the word limitations because there's nothing limited. It's just different options. So with Stomp, not Stomp, Pod Go, you may not know this. There's certain blocks that are automatically assigned in every single preset. So what comes with every preset, you've got a volume expression pedal and a wah pedal. You don't have to use them, but they're there and you can't get rid of them. You've got an EQ.
Can I edit them to like a I don't know, to wah to I don't know.
Whatever wah you want. Yep. Any of the wahs that are in Helix. So yeah, you can change those. And obviously a volume pedal is a volume pedal, right? You don't change those.
Okay.
An EQ, which is good. And I said this.
Can I change the wah into a whammy?
No. Nope.
Okay, so it stays a wah and it stays a volume pedal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now you could put in a pitch later, like a whammy as a secondary effect. So the other ones that are given to you are EQ, and I love that because a lot of people don't necessarily. There are some that have not ever even experimented with an equalizer in real life or in the digital world. So it forces you to get accustomed to some EQs. There's a bunch of them in there. I like the 10-band EQ, but that's just my thing. You're also given an amp and either a cab or an IR block and an effects loop. So there's one effects loop. So now you've got about 4 effects left. So a lot of us would probably put in our delays and our reverbs, maybe a distortion pedal, that kind of thing.
A little bit of chorus.
Sure. But it's brilliant, and you can move the effects loop wherever you want. So you can put in your favorite boutique pedals in the loop as well too.
How many blocks do you have on that device?
Oh, that's a good question. So we got So let's count for a second.
It sounds like a lot.
a little bit more than Stomp. So let's say volume, wah, EQ, cab, amplifier. What am I missing? And effects. Well, the effects doesn't count as a block technically. All right. So you've got 6, and then you've got 4 more available. So 10.
Wow, that's amazing. That's cool.
Yeah, if I did my math correct, if Frank's still here in the chat, I'm really on the spot on this one. I think that's 10. He can comment. And later on, if you get a chance, you can watch one episode about 2 weeks back. I had Eric Klein, who's Mr. Helix himself from Line 6. He was on. He gave us all the technical stuff. And I got one fan tore me a new butt for saying that I said that Pod Go sounds just as good as Helix. And it does. And I'm still going to back up that claim that it sounds just as good. Now, there's technical data behind that, the different ohm resistance and stuff like that, whatever.
Right.
If you want to put it on a computer, it sounds a little bit different. Your ears, my ears.
Of course.
Never know the difference. So if someone, wants to record in a hotel or a small club gig, whatever, it's absolutely phenomenal. But check it out when you do get the chance.
I got to give it to Line 6. I first heard of them when I was a kid, and what they've always been doing was inventing stuff that really helps, that helps the musician to be creative instead of becoming a technician.
Mm-hmm.
That is something I really, really love about Line 6 products. No matter what they do, they always come up with this easy handling, like easy understanding. Once you sink your teeth into it, you understand it, and it's just awesome, and it helps your creative work instead of stops you from being creative because you have to know the technical difficulties, to quote Paul Gilbert. No, really. And I can tell, like the HX Stomp, it's for me personally, because I haven't had the new pot thing that you just talked about. It's just very easy to understand because I'm a kind of like learning by doing kind of gal. I hardly read manuals.
No, me either.
Right? Yeah, you don't do that.
No.
It's like you're so excited and you want to switch it on and you would try stuff out and you don't sit down and read a manual. So yeah, that's not what you do. And I was so excited, and literally I had a sound within, I don't know, a minute and a half.
Yeah.
I was like, how do I do that? Oh, this is the way it goes. Okay, dialing everything in and like, boom, duh, great.
Yep.
And literally all the guest solos that I do, I recorded with the HX Stomp.
That's perfect. It works well.
Super good.
Well,
yeah.
You're going to get a kick out of this, and I know you agree with this. Like you just talked about how easy it is to make a preset. I made a preset a couple weeks back, and I made it available for Podgo. Here's another thing you should know about Podgo too. You can't bring presets directly in from HX Stomp or Helix, but you could, if you said, okay, well, I got my Marshall, my gains at 10, my blah, 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 you can recreate it, and it'll be exactly the same. But I created a preset for Andy Summers, The Police, Message in a Bottle, one of my favorite songs of all time by The Police. I was watching a rig rundown of Andy Summers. I didn't have a guitar plugged in. I had my created it on Helix first. Helix was turned on. It's almost always on. And I went blip, 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 6 or 7 blocks, whatever, 6 blocks, of course, when it turned out to be a stomp. And I had the tone exact without a guitar in my hand.
Very, very nice. Wait a minute. I want to go back to, so if you have for example, your preset from that pod thing on your computer, you can't import it to the Helix.
No, you can't share between them. It's a slightly different.
And my friend Holger had a question because he commented under the picture that his Helix had like a complete, it just went blank. And that could be totally the reason why. So Holger, if you're watching, now you know why that happened. And now you know that you have to take care about this.
Yeah. Now Stomp, you can't. Stomp, you can bring across. Obviously, if you had a preset in Helix that has like any more than 6 blocks, you can't bring it over. But you can easily take a 6 preset, a 6 block Stomp preset, bring it over to Helix, no problem. Or you can physically, if you had 2 HX edits open, so I got Helix over here and Stomp over here, you can copy a block and like that, or you can drag a preset.
That is, of course, yeah, sure.
But really, to create on Stomp, I keep saying Stomp. To create on Podgo, it's as simple as this. You just have your Helix edit over here, and you look at your delay. Okay, it's a vintage delay, 250 milliseconds, copy. Okay, blah, blah, blah. And in about 5 minutes, you've recreated your preset. So it's not hard.
That's what I like with working with the HX Stomp was with me at the Free Guitar Camp last year when we still were able to gather 40 guitar nerds in a tiny little room in Sweden in the woods. And Jan Serfeld of Panzerballett, he decided to come over for like a day. And he just brought a guitar, no amp, no nothing. And then he was like, hey, I need a clean sound. Hey, I need this, I need that. And it's so easy to work on these devices because they are so logically easy to understand. And I was like, boop, 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 boop. Okay, here's your crunch sound. Okay, what else do you need? Like a lead sound. Okay, boop, 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 boop. Okay, that's your lead sound. And sometimes I sometimes like to do it like I would create a really good rhythm sound. And for the solo section, I would just add delay, not even change the sound or anything. It's just add delay and a little bit of, the level up a little bit. And that's totally enough. And I always keep surprising myself, like how easy and good the sounds are. It's scary. I come from a time back in the days I had, was it Rockman?
Rockman. Yeah, the Rockman.
I have one.
Cool.
And the other day I was like, because it stays with my parents, and I picked it up and I was like, oh my God, childhood memories. So I put in all the 12 batteries and shit's heavy as fuck. And I was like plugging in, and I remember how excited I was as a kid when I plugged in. I was like, this is it.
Yeah. That big stereo chorusy sound.
Anymore. I
know.
a big disappointment.
I know.
Oh God.
It's like going back to a video game. Remember, like, did you ever play video games when you were a kid?
The arcade games or Super Mario back in the days,
Yeah.
Kirby,
Yeah.
and all that. Yeah.
Okay, so that's the thing. Sometimes we look at, like, so you talk about the Rockman, very cool device, and
Yeah.
I'm just going to associate with video games. Some of these video games that we thought, like Mario stuff, is always going to be good no matter what. But some of the old games, I remember, like games like Ghouls and Ghosts and Ghosts and Goblins, and you think they're the greatest games ever, and then you could play them again, you're like, oh man, what was I thinking? This is a freaking hard
Yes.
game. But yeah, and over in gear, the ADA preamp and stuff like that, all those things that we grew up with. But yeah, it's a new game today. It's a completely different game. Have you updated to the latest firmware on all your devices?
To be honest, as I haven't been touring
Mhm.
and as I haven't been playing, no.
Because the reason
But
why
I will.
No, I know.
I will, and I have to soon.
The only reason why I ask is I know this type of gain, sound that you like, and there's several new things in there, right? We've got Steve Vai's distortion pedal in there as well too. We've got the Rev Purple amplifier. Oh my God, wait till you try that. So even with your Stomp, you can do this because you got your Helix racks are probably in a warehouse somewhere, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but you've got your Stomp there. Update it to 2.92. And back it up if you've got anything on there, back up just in case. It'll force you to back up now, which is a nice thing as well too. So whether you
it
want,
does automatically. It tells me to, hey, do a backup.
Yeah, it's like, Jen, don't screw this up. So
That's cool.
Do that and check out the Rev Purple amplifier. It's crazy good. You'll love it.
Nice.
Yeah,
I definitely do it. I mean, they build great amps. They sound amazing.
They do.
I know.
They do.
I know.
Here's a nice comment from Rita. Says, I still say Jen needs a custom signature Ibanez made. And we talk about mutual friends, Nita Strauss, one of the first women to ever have a signature, the first woman to have a signature Ibanez guitar. I mean, there's lots of incredible female artists out there. You're one with Ibanez and everything as well too. But the first signature guitar, I would love to see one for you as well too. That'd be great. That's a good comment, Rita.
Hey, anybody from Ibanez watching?
Do you have? Oh, you know what? This is probably a great segue. And before we're going to talk, I know you.
Thank you, Rita, for bringing that up. Thank you. I much appreciate you. You know that.
And we will. I know you know where we're going with this too. We're going to talk about another Ibanez guitar here in a second. And Raleigh says, "Ask Jen, where is Ola? Is Ola having coffee somewhere?"
He's probably sitting in his Swedish caravan, and drinking coffee and.
No,
we randomly talk sometimes, but he's, for the YouTuber section of our humankind and society, it's been really tough because out of a sudden, musicians like me think they are able to put out YouTube videos. And so everybody puts out YouTube videos, and I talked to Henning about this, and it's really tough because out of a sudden they have to, the day still has 24 hours, but out of a sudden they have to produce more content to even be seen.
Mm-hmm.
So it's I don't want to be a YouTuber these days. Like I do that YouTube stuff just for fun. I don't make any money with it. I don't want to make any money with it. It's just like my creative outlet, and I enjoy it. And Ola, yeah, I totally want him for my 1 minute jams, but I've asked him weeks ago already. Not saying anything else.
It is a lot of work, and that's why I cut things down as well too. I was running 4 different shows, 4 different content things. So we're talking to Helix today, and it's something. This is just my way with this show. I can't believe we're in the 5th season, but the Line 6 team has been
crazy.
Yeah, they've become great friends of the family, not just me, all of us, and they know what we're doing. They know how Sandra's doing and all that kind of stuff. Like one time, Joe Bentivegna, the president, he called one time. And I've talked to him a few times on the phone. And I talk to Frank all the time. But Joe called me. I'm all excited, right? Oh, Joe's called me. It says Joe B on the phone, right? And then I said, hey, how's it going? He goes, hey, pretty good. Can I talk to Sandra? I'm like, here you go. And he wanted to ask her some either gardening or cooking things, right? Because but talk about an ego killer, right? But anyways, long story short, I focus on what I can do, and I don't want to put myself in a corner. And so I cut out 2 of my shows. I used to do a Walking Dead thing, and I killed it. And I was doing Kramer Corner, which I'm still going to resurrect. I really like that. There's some cool Kramer stories out there. And I had a fellow that just sent me a book. He actually worked at Kramer, was one of the chief assembly guys and one of their artist relations guys. So I want to focus on that later. But this show is for me giving back what Helix and Line 6 has done for me. Just
for all of us.
Well, yeah. Like here's an example. See this little relay, the little wireless?
I have it too.
I come in here and the wireless is back there. And I have two different cables on it. If I want to run it to Helix one day, it goes to Helix, or if I can switch it to go to a Pod Go, or I can switch it to go to Stomp, whatever. I come in here, I plug in, and I got tone without putting a microphone anywhere. It moves me, and that's my way to give back to what it's done for me. Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
Here's my favorite. I played all the AC/DC tribute band shows with this one, and it's really old and destroyed, but it still works, and I love it. It never let me down. One of the best systems ever. Seriously.
That's good to know. And I love it. I don't hear any tone degradation whatsoever. It just works phenomenal.
Nothing. It's just exactly the same. And whenever you play with wireless, it's you as a guitar player running around giant stages, you have that fear all the time. You're like, oh my God, will it drop out? Oh my God. Am I in a casino place where they have all the Wi-Fi and all the disturbing frequencies? But that old, really, it's not even the new. It's not even the new one. It's the old Relay G50.
Yeah.
It never ever let me down, not a single time, and I just love that.
That's good to know.
When I play solo shows, like with my band here, like smaller club gigs, and I still use it. It's so good.
That's awesome. Before we jump over to the guitarist section, just for a second, I want to ask you one more question about Helix. So last time I saw the stage rig that you have, you were using two Helix racks. Well, obviously mirror duplicates of one another. One would be for backup if everyone went down.
We have one and main and one spare. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So that's when you get back out there, is that going to be pretty much the same rig again?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love it, and I connect them now to my Synergy amps because I changed amplifier company. And in the beginning, we had a little bit of struggle of the communication, but then once we figured it out, it's like, duh, it's perfect, and it sounds great, and it's really, sometimes you have gear, just like the wireless system, and you're kind of like, it hinders you in your creative playing and in your performance because you always have like that little part of your brain is worrying about the gear. And what I really love about the Line 6 products, no matter what, it's like you can just let go. You don't have to worry.
Yeah.
And that's literally what I love, because once you set it up, it's all done. It won't change, and it will deliver night after night after night. And that's really what I really appreciate with working with Line 6. It's just
well said.
Safety.
Yeah.
Safety and happiness.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like when you get the inspiration to play or to either to write a performance, write a song, or just to jam, all you do is click and it's there. You just never have to think about it. Yeah,
exactly.
I can't tell you how many times before when I was using big amplifiers and putting an SM57 in front of it, whatever. I got an idea to record something, and I'd sit at the computer. I'm not getting the right sound, and I'm so frustrated. I'm like, screw it. And
until you have figured out everything for the recording and can actually press the record button, you forgot your idea.
Exactly.
And with Line 6, it's really. How many times did I sit here and just go like, "Hey, oh, whoa, that sounds nice. Let's record," and it's literally just one cable. Done.
Yeah.
Push record, and I love that. It made life as a musician so much easier.
I couldn't agree more, for sure.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this guitar. You picked up obviously playing a lot of Ibanez guitars, and you got some killer models. But you picked up a new one a while back. Let's have a look at this baby, the Pia. Look.
I saw her at NAMM, and I took a close look, and I was like, I want that. I need to have this. This is a must-have. It's beautiful. I waited for it way too long because I think, when did I get it? May?
I think that's right on your Facebook.
I wanted it in January, but no, I had to wait until May. But I was like, okay, all right, I'll wait. And I think even if it's the most simple invention of all times, we talked about this before this.
Yep.
But this magnetic thing, like countless times have I been at venues for clinics or concerts, and I'm like, I have to adjust my Floyd Rose screwdriver. I don't have a screwdriver.
You get a steak knife out from the restaurant.
Yeah. How many times did that happen? And then it took so many years for somebody, I guess we discussed this. I don't know if it was Thomas or Steve, but to come up with a magnetic.
Yes.
It's so good. It's so easy. like all of my guitars, they don't even have this. I throw them away.
Yeah.
I take them out and throw them away because I never close that guitar again.
Mhm.
Because there's always the adjustment. But this solution is like literally perfection for me personally. Perfection. And also what's new with this one is, you can't really see, but it's got the last 4 frets are scalloped.
Yeah.
And also the pickups are, oh my God, the
They're-
pickups are just so beautiful.
They are.
I mean, look at these pickups.
New custom DiMarzios too, not the same pickups from before either.
No. I think that it's sort of Evolution pickups, but when I compare it to my other Jam, to the Jam, because that's a Pia, I feel like they've changed the output of the pickups. They sound hotter.
Oh, really?
They have more output than the other ones. It can't be the wood or anything else, and so it's got to be. I don't know what they did, but I'm not a technical person. I only can tell what I hear and what I feel. But I think the output is higher on this guitar, and also the 5-way switch. It's phenomenal. Like I played that guitar for like an hour, and I was like,
doesn't have a push pull high pass filter or something too on the volume knob?
absolutely
Yes, high pass. Yeah,
yes.
That's cool.
It's phenomenal. This is like I don't like to use the word weapon, but if it comes to musical terms, this is a weapon. It's freaking amazing, and the neck is perfection. I've always loved the Jam necks because they just fit perfect.
Yeah,
You know, like
so thin
there's some
too.
kind of. Have you ever played the Richie Kotzen signature Taylor?
I have not.
It's like a baseball.
Right.
I don't know how he doesn't really have that. Like his hands are not like super big, but that neck is so much wood. And sometimes Ibanez are famous for their super thin necks, their super wizard necks.
Mhm.
I don't really like them, to be honest. I'm a fan of my
Jam.
my Jam is a premium guitar, and the premiums usually have like a bigger neck profile. And due to the fact that it's a Jam, it's slightly smaller. Now this one is smaller and closer to a super wizard neck, but it's still. I don't know what it is about these guitars, but it's just perfection for the feel, for the playing. I just love them. And I had to have it.
Oh, I know it totally screams you for sure. Would you know? I don't mean to put you on the spot, but what do they retail at US? Around $4,000 or a little more? Or do you know what they retail at US dollar wise?
Well, I know the euros are like 3,400
Okay.
euros. So it should be like 38 US dollars.
Okay.
Ish. Correct me if I'm wrong, anybody.
Somewhat, that sounds about right. And that's Japanese made, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. You know, it's also like very cool too with the magnetic trem cover. And this is another thing too that I'm sure you've been in this situation. You know, whether you're doing it in a rush or not. So you do find your screwdriver. You're taking out all the screws, and you go to put them back in. You put them on just one too tight, crack, and you crack the cover. You know, I totally think it was probably Thomas had a lot to do with that.
And well, me in a hurry, I lose all the screws. They fall to the ground, and I'm like, ah. And I really, like years ago, I decided just to throw all those fucking stupid covers away. I don't use them. But this is the first time I'll ever have one on the back of my guitar.
It is very cool. It is. And like as I was telling you off the air as well too, it kind of reminds me in another way of you know, it's in the same Ibanez family. Paul Gilbert with his signature guitar, and he showed us on the show. He was on quite some time ago. He's got a little kind of indentation, a route on the top horn of the guitar, and it's magnetic, and his slide goes right in. And I mean, you'd have to tug on that thing to get it out. So it's not going to fall if you're running and doing some, you know, runs and jumps.
If you jump around and jump off your drum riser, it won't fall. But if you grab it and just like take it, and it's sometimes like really small, tiny developments and inventions like that can make life so much easier. Tiniest little things.
Yeah, I agree. And it's funny too, because all of us were so used to the monkey grips and the Gem guitar, you know, and I had it. Oh man, I wish I would never got rid of this guitar. I had an original Gem 7/7 flower pattern as soon as it came out.
Nice.
And I traded it off, and I mean, I just kill myself for getting rid of that guitar. But when this one came out, I was kind of like, and I saw a few other people kind of like, they're getting used to the new. There's a term for the actual. It's not a monkey.
Teardrop.
Yeah.
Teardrop handle.
Yeah. And looking at it now, and I watched a really good video today just because I knew you're coming on the show today and going to play the guitar. I forget there's a UK music dealer over there, PK, whatever it's called over there in England. And the fellow that was demoing the guitar, same one as yours, same color, man, he played just like Steve Vai. But what it can do, man, beautiful, beautiful guitar. I love it. And I guess the gold one, that there's multiple colors, but the gold is really beautiful too, isn't it?
You got the gold one, you got the pink one, and you got the green one.
Okay.
And when I was kind of like making up my mind which one to pick, I tell you honestly, all my guitars are literally black or blue. I have one in purple. The rest is black and blue. And I was kind of like, or white. Of course, I have two white, a white Universe and a white RG 450. But I was like, do I really have, the balls to play a golden guitar? I mean, that's so Steve Vai.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to pretend to be a Steve Vai. I never, ever will. And a golden guitar that's commitment.
Yeah.
A green Envy green guitar, that's commitment right there.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? If I think about that guitar, I don't want to play a green guitar every day.
No.
Because that is what happens with me when I get a beautiful guitar like that one. I'll play it. And so I picked white, even if it's not the most exciting color and it's not one of the limited editions, but I love it.
You know what, though? I think you made a good choice because
beautiful.
It lets you be you without, because like sometimes you don't want the instrument to do the talking. Well, that's not what I mean. Like sometimes you have a certain instrument and you're already making a statement before you play, and it could be good or bad. People just like me when I was playing all the striped guitars. I could play.
Yes, exactly.
I could play a song and with a striped guitar, and people would say, "Oh, dude, you screwed that up. You suck." And then I play the same passage on another guitar, and their preconceived thoughts weren't there. Right?
Exactly. And thank you. Beautifully put. Exactly. I don't want to pretend to have that Steve Vai vibe. Like that's up to Steve. I mean, he's such a fabulous human being, such a great musician. No words. But I would never try to pretend, like never, ever. Yeah. And that guitar leaves me the freedom to just express myself. You have really beautifully put. Yes.
Thank you. Well, and what's nice about it as well, too, with that particular white one, I mean, okay, take that away, that you can be a chameleon now and kind of blend into the woodwork with it. But when you look at it, it's like a Rolls Royce or a nice, a BMW
I know,
gold
right?
treatment.
It's so sexy.
Yeah, just the gold is just so nice. And I'm hopefully the gold hardware in there is not like a lot of gold hardware that can really tarnish over the years, like it oxidizes and things like that. So, fingers crossed.
Don't you like that?
Yeah, it's somewhat. Yeah,
I like it when my guitars show age and history.
Yeah.
Like sometimes sometimes I have really old guitars, not old, but I bought them when I was 17, played a lot of shows with them, and there's here a little problem and there a little thing in the wood and there's a little scratch. And I love that because I want to see the history and I want to remember all the shows that I played with these instruments. And that's how I can do it. So I really hope for it to work. Also for the neck, because now it's like matte satin finish, and I really it'll be glossy.
Oh, it will
when I play it enough.
Yep.
And we'll see. Also, the logo on the head is like, I don't know if you can see.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Like
yeah.
Rainbow colors. Can you see that?
I do see that now. Yeah, flip flop. That's so cool. It's like I think we call it in the paint world, like chrome illusion kind of thing.
So beautiful. But if you look at it, it's just gold.
Yeah.
Gold. But gold with rainbows.
Isn't that something?
How did I just do it?
I'm a big fan of natural relicing as well too. I mean, people spend a fortune to get a relic guitar, but as you said, you know the history of the guitar. Okay, you put that big chunk in it, in such and such a gig, and then you broke the neck on this place. I've got a Wolfgang guitar here. It's one of the very few.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, one of the very few Wolfgangs I have left. But it's a PV, original PV, 1997, patent pending. And people look at it and they say to me they think I've got a custom roasted maple neck. It's as brown as brown can be, but it was bright maple at one time. Just
because you played it.
Blood, sweat, tears, beer.
Yes.
Maybe more emphasis on.
Don't you love looking at that guitar neck and just having all those memories? That's how I feel when I look at each little scratch on my guitars. I'm like, oh, that was such a beautiful festival show, and I like drowning in those memories with my guitars. I like that.
I know. Yeah, well said. So congratulations on your new guitar. That's awesome. I know it's going to bring us
Thank
some
you.
great jams for sure. We've got about 10 minutes left before we wrap up the program. Something else I wanted to ask you about, and I know because you talked about earlier at the top of the hour, like no one knows what's happening. No one is. We're learning every day what's
Right.
going on here. Have you heard anything from, passed down from the band's management? Like, will it be 2021, do you think, before you'll ever even will see?
Well, for the plans right now, we have recorded these 4 songs and we want to release them. And the tour was originally planned in April this year. Of course, got postponed to September this year.
Mhm.
Of course, got postponed to September next year. And for now, I mean, I am in a very, very lucky situation with Amy and the boys, especially with Amy, because she cares and we are in contact. We sometimes have like, I don't know, Zoom calls and just like hang out. You
Nice.
know, it's really, it's not like we've been completely separated, and it warms my heart to see how much of a really caring friend she is. She really is. And it's just, like I said, it's tough to plan anything. I mean, for me personally, I feel a little separated, sort of like because of the distance.
Mhm.
I'm just in Europe,
Yeah.
and they're in the States. And they are like driving distance apart, sort of, for a couple of hours driving. But I just can't. What am I supposed to do? Like take a boat and it's just not possible.
Paddle.
and that makes it a little bit tougher for me on my end. But I don't feel excluded. I feel she's just very, very good at connecting people and caring about people. She is a beautiful person. And so we do talk, but it's kind of like everybody is like, yeah, what am I going to do? It's just like
know.
sit there and wait. Because you cannot, who knows if September will happen?
Right.
You know, it might, I mean, we are not in the position as human beings to tell what will be next September. We
Yeah.
don't know. So
That's
I
the thing.
really, really hope, because I miss touring. And what I miss the most is playing live shows. Not only the interaction with Amy and the guys on stage, but also that energy exchange that you only can have at a live concert, when you look into the eyes of the fans
Mhm.
and they're crying and they're singing and they're screaming, and you can't get that from a screen, from a live stream or
No.
a video collab. You don't get that.
No.
And it's just literally, I think, what most of us miss. Like, no matter who I talk to, Jeff Loomis, Jeff Waters, is we all miss that energy exchange, because it's just not possible through a screen. And who knows what future will bring. I definitely hope that we'll be back to playing live shows sooner than later. Like,
Yeah. So-
hopefully in the beginning of next year. I also hope for NAMM to happen. I don't know.
Mhm.
We don't know.
Yeah, that's right. It's day by day kind of thing too. And I get it
Exactly.
100% what you say about the energy level. I've always said it's like having an intravenous line between you and the fan, and it's two full duplex, meaning, okay, you're the fan's giving you some energy, it comes back to you, then you're giving it back to them. It's just this great exchange.
Exactly.
And you don't
It's
get
that energy exchange. I just went to the gas station the other day, and there was somebody recognizing me, and she was like, oh, "Can we take a selfie?" And for the first time ever, I was like, "Wait, I have my mask on.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to go close to you. How are we going to do a selfie?" It's just really weird. And I told her, like, "Give me your phone." So I stood in front, held the phone, and she was standing in the back.
Oh,
and
that's
we
cool.
were taking that picture, and it was so weird.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But you did the right
So
thing, though.
weird.
You did the right thing.
Yeah,
and you
absolutely.
made her
Absolutely.
day.
I mean, I truly believe it's very, very necessary to for all of us to wear a mask and not make it political or whatever. I mean, we all have to work together as a human race for this. It doesn't matter if you're rich, like I said before, rich or poor or thin or thick. It doesn't matter. Everybody has to work on that together now.
I agree.
And as long as we don't do that, I see it very difficult to change the situation that we're in right now, because it always will come back to small lockdown situations and shit like that. But I truly, I have the hope
Yeah.
I keep hope, and yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned that too, because I did a live stream. It was a live jam about a week or so back, and I don't know if it was either. Yeah, I think it was my live stream, and I commented. I was talking about masks for 5 minutes, not even a full 5 minutes, 2.5 minutes, and this guy had left me this nasty comment. Oh, I came in to watch great guitar playing, blah blah blah, and I left because once it's the mask propaganda, you commie and stuff like that. I'm like, and here's the funny thing: in my part of Canada, we're not forced to wear them. We in our bigger cities like Toronto, London, Windsor, those kind of areas like that, where people are forced to wear the masks. We're not forced to. I choose to. You know, Sandra here, she has a compromised immune system. I'm trying to be protective. She never goes out. She hasn't been in our car. She hasn't been off our property since February. You know, so I take it very, very serious. But you know, that's the thing, and I appreciate you saying that. Ron, last time he's on the show, he takes it very, very serious too. He'll get very animated about it.
I know,
and I appreciate
Alex
that.
Skolnick, same thing.
Yep.
It's like, you know, the musicians, especially all my colleagues in the States, they see people trying to not wear masks, meaning, oh hey, our situation won't change. Us musicians will be a longer time, will be without a job, without playing shows. Could you please put your mask back on?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to do this to advertise masks or anything. We talk as humans here.
Yep.
It's not about politics or anything. It's just humans. And we all should just work together as humans. Really. I
agree.
It's such a tough situation, and it has never ever been here, so it's so unpredictable and nobody knows. We all just have to feel in our hearts what is right to do and what is not, and I really hope that everybody will realize sooner or later what's right to do in a situation like this. I
agree 100%. The only thing I'll say funny about masks, I have a rotation of them. Sandra, she makes them here as well too, makes some really nice ones, and I've discovered that my ears are freaking weird. My ears, and I was wondering why I couldn't wear these certain in-ear monitors, and I blame the in-ear monitors. Meanwhile, I'm just a deformed person, and I don't have the proper lobes. So she made these things that have, I know, it is what it is, right? So she made these things.
I am just a deformed person.
Yes, I have weird freaking ears. But
me too.
When I take my mask off, you ever see the movie The Lorax? Remember the Lorax, the orange character, you know, like and my mustache is like to the side of my face, like I'll send you a picture of the Lorax after. You'll get it. I look like the Lorax when I take it off. But as we wrap up here, I would feel completely horrible if I didn't address. This will be a lightning round of questions. Okay, this is from first of all, your social media team across the world is incredible. I think of all the guests I've had on the show, as far as the way the social media team, thank you, the way your social media team works, it's for yourself. And Orianthi was over on Rock Shop about a month or two back, and her team was just pushing it out there everywhere. It was amazing. So hats off to the fan clubs around the world, and some of these may be from
I love
them.
you guys. Thank you so much for the support.
Awesome. Thank you everybody out there for sharing and really pushing this show for us. So from Twitter, Terry Lee Snook says, while in self-quarantine, are you writing, composing anything of another possible solo album?
Terry, hi. Thank you for the question. The answer is no.
Okay, no problem.
I don't have anything else to say. I have the time to, but I don't.
Yep, and that could change. You never know, right? You never know. Queendom of Family EV. You are always a very busy lady. How are you handling this whole social distancing, staying at home thing? And you kind of talked about that meeting a fan the other day and having to thing. Then we've also
you just have to adjust. You have to use your brain and adjust to the current situation. You know, and you know, I'm always like known for being a very communicative person with all our fans and, well, you know, my fan club admins and everything, and I enjoy that. It's beautiful. I love the good company that I'm in.
That's good. You surround yourself with good people, right? And it makes you. And you did the right thing too when you said talk about purging all these negative energy, the energy suckers.
The thing is, let me quickly explain. There are three types of people. There are the ones you talk 5 minutes to and you feel exactly the same like before. There are the ones you talk 5 minutes to and you feel exhausted because that person was complaining and putting all their burdens on top of you. And then there are the persons you talk to 5 minutes and you feel enriched with, I don't know, something positive. You really gained energy from that talk. And these are the people you need to surround yourself with and eliminate the energy vampires, because it doesn't help you to listen to somebody complain about their life and how sad they are, it doesn't help you at all. The person always have to, if you talk to a person, it should be an exchange, like energy exchange.
Agreed.
And the exchange should work positive at the end for you. And if it doesn't, you do not need that person in your life.
I agree. I'll make this a very brief statement. And I got a call day before yesterday. Don't even know how the fellow got my phone number. I don't care. I'm glad he did. Wayne Charvel of Wayne Guitars, the former owner, the inventor of Charvel Guitars. He called me.
The original Wayne?
Wayne Charvel. He called me, and it said California number calling, right? And I'm like, because I usually don't answer those because it's maybe a robocall or whatever. Especially from the States, I usually don't. If I don't have someone saved, I usually don't answer it. I'm like, hello, after about the 8th ring, and we talked for about an hour and a half. First, and he was watching some of my videos. I had his son on the show years ago as well, too, a couple years back, Michael. And we were talking about the fire that burnt the factory down and stuff like that. Long story short, we talked about guitars for 5 minutes, and we talked about life. I told him about Sandra's health and stuff like that because he's a real health advocate and alternative medicines and all that kind of stuff. And I got off that call, and I mean, my ear was sore because I don't usually talk on the phone for a long time. And I was just like, wow, what the hell just happened? People ask me, what did you talk about? And I was like, I don't even remember. It's just all good.
Exactly. Exactly. But you feel enriched in emotions, in power, in inspiration. And that's the people you need to surround yourself with.
Agreed. The very last 2 lightning round questions. Becky, so we kind of addressed this a little bit. When is it likely that the band will get all back together to finish recording The Bitter Truth? And do you think it'll still be released in 2020? So we kind of touched base on that, but no, we never know, right?
I don't know.
Yep. That's the honest answer, and that is for sure. When it's safe, right?
Exactly.
And this is a question you can't answer. You can, but it's also like saying which is your favorite guitar, what is your favorite child. But this is from Raquel. This is the last question, and I apologize. I can't ask anymore. But Raquel says, "What is your favorite EV song and to play live?" Maybe it could be the same too.
I can totally answer.
Yep.
It has always been "Disappear" from the very beginning because that's the song where I get a solo spot.
Awesome.
I love "Disappear." I love the energy of the song, and I keep saying that in every interview. "Disappear," my favorite Evanescence song. Duh.
Great. Well, there you go. Thank you for answering that one. And one thing I'll share here as well too. You talk about positive conversation. My better half here, Sandra. She does a YouTube show as well too. She does it every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday called The Party Line. And I've asked some of my other guests. You're much younger than I am, so you probably don't remember this. And I don't even know what it's like over in Europe. But when maybe your parents had this, did they have such things called party lines back then where the neighborhood would share a phone line where one person's, like, let's say your phone would ring 3 times really fast, the neighbor might ring twice, and you would know it's your call, so you'd pick it up and answer. Did they have that?
You Americans sometimes seem really weird, and you Canadians too. It's just like, what?
Yeah, well, that's what it was. I didn't invent it. That was Bell Canada, whatever. But so it's a long story short. That's what they had back in the day, and you could actually eavesdrop and listen to like the old lady talking about corns on her feet and things like that. I'm old, right? Excuse
me, corns on her feet.
I'm just making stuff up. I'm just talking. I don't know what we're talking about here. She could have, like a bad gallbladder, and you just, I got to go to the doctor. And you'd eavesdrop on them. But long story short, they do a show Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. It's 2 girls and a guy, all of our friends here. And it's really, really fun. It's like you're listening to just gossip. I love it. So check that out. You can see that. They find them on The Party Line on YouTube. But anyways, this has been a fantastic 90 minutes. It flies like always. And we got to blame Andrew Bonica. We got to give Andrew Bonica credit for this because he was the one who said make the show longer. So now it's called the Helix Hour Plus. So
nice. Yeah. Good job.
I think with the Helix content, like 90 is the sweet spot. My Friday shows I switched to 60, and it's the sweet spot for that. So, but 90 minutes with you has been a pleasure. I want to wish you continued health and success, and
thank you.
Good advice for us as well today too as well. So thank you for that, and always remember that guitar or that keyboard or your drum kit over there, whatever you may have, is there to it's your best friend. So
exactly.
Approach it and accept it.
And like I always used to say at the end of a stream or a chat, stay safe, stay sane, and stay happy and stay healthy.
Perfect. That's fantastic. I'm going to say goodbye to you off the air. I want to encourage our viewers if you're into shows like Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, and El Camino. I have actually the showrunner of Better Call Saul, Peter Gould, on the show Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. And we'll be back next week with the Helix Hour, same time, same channel as well. Don't go away, Jen. I'm going to say goodbye to you off there. Everyone, thanks so much. Thanks to the great fan community out there from Jen and Evanescence for sharing all of our content. Really appreciate you all. And until next time, cheers.
Hey, you're still here? Eric Jr. here, reminding you to check out our full lineup of quality merch. Available right now in the Broadstash Boutique. Quality products and fast shipping. Visit broadstash.com today.
Thank you for watching the Helix Hour. We hope you enjoyed today's presentation. An extra special thank you to the staff at Line 6 for their continued support. If you've not yet subscribed, please do so right now and feel free to share our content with your friends. See you next time on the Helix Hour.